The Amazon continues to burn. The latest I heard is that this fascist Trump clone, Bolsonaro, who's the president of Brazil, first I heard he said that the $20 million that the G7 decided to give him to fight the fires, he rejected that out of hand. And now he says he might consider taking the 20 million if he got an apology from the French President Macron for doing I don't know what, but saving the lungs of the earth now supposedly depends on an apology from one head of state to another. This is madness.
Can I say something?
I have mentioned many times that the idea of national boundaries to me makes no sense whatsoever. National boundaries is what causes wars. It's what causes millions of people to die. I mean, the people in Brazil, other than cultural and language differences, are same as the people in Zimbabwe, who are as the same as the people in Mongolia, who are the same as the people in Israel. So why national boundaries? It makes no sense. You wanted to say something, Kathy?
I was just going to say that I don't know that the Brazilian leader's being any crazier than our leader when earlier this year he shut down our government for, what, a month over Christmas? Put all those people out of work because he couldn't get his wall? He held our country hostage for a stupid wall that still hasn't happened. So who's crazier? You're going to let I mean, I guess it's a much bigger crime to let the rainforest die. But
Yeah, I think it would be.
yeah, but I mean, again, it's just madmen doing madmen things.
Right. So many of the leaders of these various sovereign countries right now are, as far as I'm concerned, insane. I mean, I can't put it any other way. They're crazy. And they're fascist. And they prove it every time they open their mouths. I was thinking about this morning when we were walking, and here's my thought, and I realize it's irrational only because we live in a world where rationality is just a word now. Rational behavior by nation states has never been a hallmark of nation states. They don't act rationally. But here we have a country, Brazil, who, not because of the president of Brazil, not because of God, not because of anything other than the way the earth evolved, Brazil has a massive rainforest, the last major rainforest on earth. It is so massive, it is so important to the survival of the human species that it produces 20% of the oxygen that we need to breathe. Now, could we live with 20% of our oxygen gone? I don't know. I think it'd be a little more difficult, wouldn't it? But because, just by virtue of geography and evolution, Brazil is what it is. And now we have some fascist fuck named Bolsonaro who said, no, this is ours. Who the hell said it's yours, white man? You had nothing to do with getting it to begin with. If it belongs, quote, quote, to anybody, it belongs to the indigenous people who have been living there for millennia, not to you, you European white bastard, you. I mean, why not take it down to a race-based bullshit level if that's What Bolsonaro's claiming ownership of something that's not his, just like the Europeans claimed ownership of this continent that was not theirs. And what did the white Europeans do here? They goddamn near destroyed what became the United States, North America, with the exception of Canada. They damn near destroyed it. Look what happened in the 30s with the Dust Bowl, the dust storms, because of the way the land was just ripped to fucking pieces with no respect whatsoever. So the people on this chunk of earth that we call the United States managed to avoid what the loss of the rainforest in Amazonia could not be avoided. So I have a solution. And this will just show you how far gone I am with all of this shit, okay? And I freely admit it. Let me give you an example. If I have a house here in a neighborhood, and I know a lot of my neighbors, and they know us. And we talk, we see each other walking the dogs, or most of us out here have teenagers. Not most of us, but a good percentage of us have teenagers, and yada, 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 yada. It's a walk-friendly neighborhood. Supposing word got out in the neighborhood that I had gone a little bit bonkers and had decided to stock my rather ample basement here, where we have the studio. I decided to stock my basement with 2 tons of dynamite. Okay? And so I did. I put 2 tons of dynamite here in my basement. And the neighbors found out about it. And they went, what the fuck? And they got an explosives expert to come out and say, well, if that dynamite goes off, every house for a mile radius from Malloy's house is going to be totally demolished. And if it goes off when all you people are asleep, you're all going to die. If it goes off while some of you are home, you're going to die. What you have there is Malloy's house sitting there ready to wipe you out. So what would happen? Well, in the first place, there are laws against that. I can't put dynamite in my basement because there are laws that tell me I can't for the very obvious reasons. So we have Bolsonaro, who is sitting in a house loaded with dynamite. And it may go off any goddamn minute. So what do? I'll tell you what we do. This is what we do. Because Bolsonaro, by a quirk of geography and his election, has control of 20% of the oxygen on Earth. What? One man has control of 20% of what we need to live, what every creature on Earth needs to live? And this cocksucker is saying, I'm not going to take your money, let it burn. Are you kidding me? It's time to fucking invade Brazil. I don't give a shit. We send the fucking Marines, and any country that wants to continue to breathe oxygen joins in a massive fucking invasion, and we take Bolsonaro, string the motherfucker up. I don't care what you do to him. But there are nearly 8 billion people on this planet who are being held hostage by this fucking fascist Bolsonaro? What? Yeah, I know how crazy that is. I know how crazy that what I just said. Of course it's crazy. We're not going to do a fucking thing about it. And if Bolsonaro decides to continue to burn the Amazon, all the heads of various nations are just going to wring their hands and try to come up, oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I'll tell you what you do. When you have a fucking maniac like Bolsonaro who decides to take out what is referred to as the Earth's lungs, and the rest of the world can fuck off if we don't like it, that's when you go in with every piece of military you have and grab this son of a bitch and everybody who in his cabinet or whatever the fuck it is in Brazil, and either put them up against a fucking wall and execute them, or put them on trial with that result, or just say to them, okay, we're going to let you go, but get the fuck out of Brazil. See how crazy I've become? See how goddamn crazy I have become. I honestly believe that life on this little blue dot is more important than something called national sovereignty of a nation run by a fucking maniac like Bolsonaro, or Donald Trump, or Kim Jong-un, or Vladimir Putin, or any of these bastards. But what will happen with the Amazon on fire? Well, from the news reports I get, and I understand that news gathering organizations can be a bit hysterical with situations like this, sure. But what I'm getting from the news reports is this fire is beyond control at this moment. And what it would take to get it under control, i.e., put the fucking thing out, would require hundreds of thousands of firefighters, not 22,000 soldiers from the Brazilian army who are standing around like they have shit in their eyes and don't know what to do. Oh, do we do this? Oh, do we do that? And a few tankers. I see the same goddamn video of the same super tanker dropping water on one little section of the Brazilian rainforest that is immediately turned to steam and shoo, gone, and the fire continues. Invade the fucking place. Put Bolsonaro under arrest. He is committing a war crime that makes Hitler look like a goddamn toddler. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast, or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.